Do you always receive a lower grade than you expect on your English essays with the same negative feedback? If so, and you're looking to take your academic writing from the B range to A+ level, mastering these 6 essential skills will transform your essays and your grades. So let's dive in. It's John here. As a tutor and 15-year high school English teacher, every year I've seen students drastically improve their writing and their grades by incorporating these 6 simple skills. The first skill is to ultimately write with precision, which means choosing unique and specific words. Precision will make your writing more engaging and less bland, because precise writing really demonstrates to your teacher that you have a deep understanding of the essays and the text you're writing about. How do you write more precisely? Well, it's simple. The best words for precise writing are nouns, verbs, adjectives, or phrases. As you edit, go to a website like thesaurus.com and find some more engaging words. Let me give you 5 examples of how you can be precise by examining 2 short Macbeth paragraphs. So starting off, we've got Macbeth's famous speech about tomorrow is an important part of the play, whereas in the second one says it occurs in Act 5, Scene 5. So be really precise in the chapters or the scenes where important events take place. This signifies to the teacher that you've been paying attention and the writing is also going to be crisp and clear. And again, we can also take a look maybe at adjectives and how we describe characters. It says here, it happens after Lady Macbeth died, Macbeth is feeling upset. Upset's pretty vague, but changing that to Macbeth reflects on the futility of existence and the relentless march of time, that's a lot more precise in how we're going to describe characters versus being upset. The next one, the next 2 actually, will give you some ideas for how you can incorporate quotes. Quotes are a great way to be really precise within the writing. So instead of saying, he talks about how life doesn't really mean much and how everything just keeps going on and on without any real point, again, really, really vague over there. But if we can be specific to, he likens life to a brief candle and a poor player strutting on stage, emphasizing its transient nature. The repetition of tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow underscores the monotony of days that creep in this petty pace. Look how much more precise and specific that is. That creeping on this petty pace, the monotony of days, is a lot more clear than this any real point. Continuing along with the blue highlight, we can also see that, Macbeth has lost hope and doesn't see any hope in the future. You can simply say, life is but a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. A lot more clear and specific there. And lastly, again, in the highlighted in red, we've got deep insight about life and how people feel when they're really upset. Again, we got this idea of upset. There's a mention of deep insight, but we're unsure what that is. But changing it to capture profound existential despair, making it one of the most memorable passages in the play, could be a lot more precise. So when looking to be precise, look for those little adjectives, nouns, verbs, and incorporating some quotes, and it'll make your writing a lot better. The second skill you should master is the use of effective transitions between paragraphs and ideas. Transitions keep your writing cohesive and easy to follow. They are the stop signs of writing, making the journey easier to read. Stop here, turn right, slow down. And how can you incorporate transition words? The first thing I'd recommend is creating a transition word bank of 10 to 15 phrases you like, such as furthermore, in contrast, similarly. A simple Google search will find you hundreds, so choose the ones you like best. Second, in your paragraphs, use transition words ideally between your arguments, your evidence, and your analysis. Let me show you how. This paragraph will show how we can add transitions to our writing to introduce quotes and as well show when one idea is beginning and another is ending. Obviously, in your own paragraph, you're not going to highlight, but this is just to show. You can use things like, firstly, the witch's prophecy plants the seed of kingship in Macbeth. Secondly, Lady Macbeth's persuasion then plays a crucial role. Lastly, Macbeth's own imagination and moral struggle. So it breaks down the 3 different arguments that you're making in your paragraph, and the teacher can easily see when one begins and another ends. Again, simple things such as, this is evident, or this quote is significant, can show when a quote or you're about to use some evidence. This is evident when he muses. And again, why is this quote significant? This quote is significant as Macbeth reveals. And just adding transitions in between your arguments and sometimes between your evidence and analysis is a great way to make your writing better, and your teacher can see when one idea ends, the other begins, and the mark is just going to go through the roof. The third skill you should choose to master is learning to be concise. Concise writing is easier to understand and gets to the point. It's about writing simply. So many times I see students heading to thesaurus to find a nice 5-syllable word to incorporate in their essay. The problem is it thinks they make them sound smart, but to be concise, you need to do the opposite. Write with the simplest words and phrases. Whoa, hold on, I hear you say. You just said be precise. Go to thesaurus.com to find precise words. Well, think of it this way. Being concise is like the quantity of words, whereas precision, skill number 1, is about the quality of the words. Use as few words as possible, but make sure those words are engaging. Let me show you a quick example, again, from some Macbeth writing. In this paragraph, I've bolded 6 sections of where we can take a longer phrase and really shorten it to be a lot more concise with the writing. So let's see. So what I've done here is now I've changed every one of those longer phrases into something a lot more clear and specific. So instead of saying at an earlier time in their marriage, why not just say earlier in their marriage? Saving a few words here. Each and every can really be brought down to each interaction between them. What's the difference? Nothing. In the next one, we've got in a case in which Macbeth hesitates, why don't I just say when Macbeth hesitates? Or again, continuing along, a large number of their conversations, many of their conversations. We've got a really lengthy one here. At this point in time in the play, you could probably just say now, or you could simply say by Act 3, we can compare and contrast their initial unity. And lastly, the end result, what's the difference between the end? Nothing. The end of their shared ambition is a relationship. So when you're editing, go through and look, do you have a really long phrase that can be shortened into something a lot more clear and concise? If so, do it and your writing is going to improve 10 times. The 4th skill you need is to vary your sentence structure. Mix up your sentence lengths and sentence types to keep your writing dynamic and interesting. The best way to do this is to primarily focus on both complex and compound sentences in your writing. And when you need to make a strong point of emphasis, use a short, simple sentence. Let me show you 3 examples about why balance in sentence structure is so important. For sentence length, I'm not going to go over each and every paragraph, but I've highlighted the punctuation at the end. And you can see in this one where the writing is too short, there's a ton of periods emphasizing the end of sentences. And the writing itself is very choppy. The 3 witches are important characters in Macbeth. They appear at the beginning of the play. They make predictions about Macbeth's future. These predictions spark Macbeth's ambition. You can tell it's very, very stop and go. And that's not really good. However, the opposite problem can happen as well. If your sentences are too long, as you can see here, there's really only 4 sentences. The reader's going to get lost with your ideas. Just look at this last sentence, which is grammatically correct. Throughout the narrative, these enigmatic figures serve as potent symbols of fate and evil, exerting a powerful influence over Macbeth's actions and decisions, while their ominous presence infuses the entire story with a dark supernatural atmosphere that underscores the play's themes of ambition, corruption, and blurred lines between destiny and free will. Although a grammatically correct sentence, you can't even get to the end without having to take a breath. So sentences that are too short and too long are not good. So what do? As I say here, this is nice. You balance. I would say have the majority of your sentences be complex, but if you really need to emphasize a key point, have a nice short declarative sentence. So for example here, we've got a few more. I think we've got 7 or 8 sentences. But we've got, the 3 witches are crucial characters in Macbeth, and they first appear at the play's outset. It's good. They make enigmatic predictions about Macbeth's future, and these prophecies ignite his dormant ambition. These mysterious and supernatural beings speak in cryptic riddles, and their words often obscure their true meaning. They encounter Macbeth on a desolate heath, and there they deliver the life-altering prophecy that he will become king. Now we have a nice short sentence. This changes everything. Now this nice short sentence over here really highlights the importance of the witches and how they change everything for Macbeth. If you want to write really good sentences in your essays, keep the majority of them as compound sentences, and when you really, really need to make a point, highlight it with a nice short declarative sentence. It will really stand out, and again, the teacher's just going to say, let's boost those marks. The 5th skill to master is to avoid repetition. You don't want to repeat yourself because it really shows a lack of understanding of the text you're writing about, and it also shows a lack of detail in the writing process. And you know what those 2 things mean? That's right, crappy grades. So, how do you avoid repeating yourself? Again, it's simple. The first thing I'd recommend is to use an outline in the writing process so that you make sure each idea in your essay is unique and that you don't repeat yourself. Secondly, let me show you an example of how you can make sure you aren't repeating too many words in your writing. For repetition, You're usually going to catch most of these within the editing process. As you read through everything, what you notice is you might have a few words or phrases that you feel like you're going to be saying a little too much. So in this case, what you should simply do is press Command F or Control F and look for those repetitive words. So imagine I'm going through and I'm thinking, you know what, I might have had the word downfall too much. All of a sudden, little Command F up here, you notice, oh, you've said downfall 10 times. Might be a little bit repetitive in this case. So maybe you want to change a few of them, get rid of them, go to thesaurus.com. Maybe again, you're thinking, this one focusing on the prophecy, and then you see you've said it 9 times. So when going through, a really, really good skill to have is to actually just go, if you feel like you're saying a word too often, just simply go through Command F. You see how many times you use that word and make some changes. Maybe you're repeating the name of the character too often. You've said it 15 times, or maybe there's a verb that you want to change. Whatever it is, Command F is a great way to go through, find those repetitive words and phrases, make your writing a lot better. The 6th and final skill you need to master is revision and editing. The best writing ultimately comes through revision. I have never once taught a student who is naturally gifted at writing. All the best writers I've taught simply give themselves enough time to edit their work, i.e., they don't leave it to the last minute. I won't give an example here, but here are 4 immensely helpful editing tips. First, learn to critically evaluate and improve your own work by reading out loud. Writing is very, very auditory. When editing, read your work out loud to catch yourself, and you'll honestly catch 1,000% more mistakes than you would have editing in your own head. Second, edit one thing at a time. Don't try to edit everything at once. For example, in one edit, look for grammar errors. In a second edit, look for repetition. In a third edit, look for precision. Doing one thing at a time will help you tremendously because it'll give you time to focus on one thing and one thing only. Third, ask friends and basically edit each other's work. I found that students are much better at catching other people's writing errors than their own. Having a friend look over your work and you looking over theirs will make more improvements than if you simply edit alone. And lastly, should go without any questions, but ask your teacher for feedback. Your teacher should be able to give you some helpful pointers and hints, but only if you started early. As a quick interruption, if you feel like this video has added value to you mastering English class, leave a like and subscribe below. It would greatly help the channel grow. So how do these 6 skills work together exactly? Think of writing as a cooking metaphor. These 6 skills are the herbs and spices that you put on meals to make them taste so much better. It gives your writing balance. For example, precision gives unique words, while being concise balances that with simplicity. Sentence variety gives a mix of long and short sentences, while transitions allow that writing to flow and again, create that balance. Great writing doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice and persistence. By implementing these skills in your daily writing, you'll see improvement in no time. And if I missed a tip, comment below. Here's to happy writing and acing those essays. See you in the next one.